Critics might say things which are valuable to you as a performer. So I wouldn't want to say that, oh, I'm never going to read the critics. There are times that critics and journalists, sometimes depending on the level of the critics, they say things which are instructive. Sometimes, of course, you just like any other profession, I guess you have B critics who are not as insightful or something like that, who might just say things that they really, that you might know better than they do. Is it a knowledgeable journalist? Is it a knowledgeable critic? Young artists, jazz artists and other artists, it's important to be written about, given the chance to develop and to work and get your career going. This is what I faced as a young artist. So guys face that today. They might be good and they just need a few words in the New York Times or in NPR. So they have a tremendous amount of power. What do you read in the newspaper? Well, you read a lot of bad stuff. Well, what about the good stuff? Well, people don't want to hear about the good stuff. So I think, especially being a jazz artist, I feel that jazz needs to be propped up, and there's many jazz artists who need to be extolled, their artistry. Jazz needs to be helped up. It's not revered in our society like it should be. I have learned from critiques, perhaps though not what the critic was intending. Sometimes people might say, well, Sonny came down and he only stayed on one side of the stage. The people on the other side of the stage couldn't hear him or couldn't see him or something like that. That's a critique which I could use. I could generally use other critiques when they were legitimate. But you see, just like Orson Welles said, when people write, when they criticize you, it's pretty hard to take. And as a young, struggling artist, that's part of the road that you have to travel. And you have to get over that. You have to be able to take critiques. If they're good critiques, then you use them. If they're critiques which are maybe you feel, well, this guy doesn't understand me or something like that, or he just is prejudiced against me for some reason, or he just doesn't like, which is possible. It's just human beings writing about human beings. Difficult when you're an artist because you're reading these things, and as Orson Welles said, and most artists are sensitive about negative things because they're not always valid, but still they're out there. Human beings want to be loved. Everybody wants to be loved. Are you deserving of love? And to do that, then you have to improve your craft. You have to see if what they're saying has any benefit to you that you can use it to get better. I enjoyed the writing of Whitney Balliet. I mean, he was just an interesting writer. I liked Ralph J. Gleason. Again, Ralph J. Gleason wrote some very complimentary things about me, written at a time when I was, as usual, trying to establish myself in the business. He also had a television show in which he put on jazz artists. He was trying to promote jazz in a positive way. Sort of like what Mark Myers is doing now. So I think he was a very positive writer in the cause of getting jazz recognized and heard around the world and country. Nat Hentoff was a good provocative writer. Nat Hentoff had a lot of political leanings in his critiques and in his writing. I enjoyed that because I was a political junkies in a way, reading all this stuff. That angle does exist, and it needs to be talked about. Leonard Feather was a person that really loved the music. That's really beautiful when you see somebody that just loves the music so much that he just wants to see the music get heard. I mean, I could almost bring tears in my eyes thinking about him in a way, how he, that's what he stood for and that's what he did.